In the annals of history, the Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, stands as one of the most pivotal moments of the 20th century. This treaty, intended to ensure lasting peace after the devastation of World War I, continues to be a subject of heated debate. Was it a diplomatic milestone setting a precedent for international negotiations, or a colossal mistake that sowed seeds of future conflicts? The formation of the Treaty of Versailles. As the guns fell silent at the end of World War I, 32 nations converged in the picturesque town of Versailles. France, armed not with ammunition but with words, treaties, and the promise of peace. At the heart of these momentous discussions were the Big Four: the United States, Great Britain, France, and Italy. Each country played a crucial role, wielding their influence like a conductor orchestrating a symphony of diplomacy. The purpose of this gathering was multifaceted, but primarily aimed at neutering Germany's military prowess and extracting reparations for the havoc wreaked during the war. This was no simple negotiation, but a complex dance of politics, power, and persuasion. The world watched with bated breath as leaders deliberated over the fate of nations. As a result, the Treaty of Versailles, a document that would echo through the halls of history, was crafted. It represented a beacon of hope for a war-weary world. But little did they know that the decisions made within those walls would have repercussions for decades to come. Before we continue with our adventure, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell not to miss future videos every week. Let's get back to the video. Woodrow Wilson's 14 points. Woodrow Wilson's 14 points, put forth in 1918, were like a master plan for a peaceful world after the chaos of World War I. Wilson, standing before Congress, suggesting ideas that were totally different from the usual winners-take-all mentality. He wanted fairness, honesty, and respect between countries. His points covered everything from transparent talks between nations to letting people choose their own destiny, and even reducing weapons. These ideas weren't just wishful thinking. They actually influenced how countries negotiated peace after the war. Wilson's vision wasn't just about ending a war. It was about building a global family where everyone worked together. His ideas even led to creating the League of Nations, which paved the way for today's United Nations. The terms of the treaty harsh or just? One of the most contentious aspects of the Treaty of Versailles lies in its terms, the severity of which stirred deep controversy. Germany, the prime target, was hit hard by these terms, which dictated stringent conditions. The once powerful nation was ordered to disarm substantially, shave off parts of its prized territory, and pay hefty reparations, collectively causing a severe dent in Germany's national pride and economy. The divisive question that arises here is whether these terms were unduly harsh or justifiably stringent. The perspective, undoubtedly, this is to those scarred by the war and yearning for justice. These conditions might have seemed fitting, a just retribution for the devastation that World War I had left in its wake. However, to others, particularly those in Germany, these terms were excessively punitive. The imposed conditions not only crushed the country's economy but also spawned a sense of deep-seated resentment and humiliation. The stringent terms served as kindling for revenge, stoking a fire that would blaze into the fury of World War II. Ultimately, whether viewed as harsh or just, these terms had profound and far-reaching implications. The impact on Germany. From defeat to depression, the Versailles Treaty plunged Germany into a pit of despair, leaving the nation grappling with an economically, politically, and emotionally devastating aftermath. Obliged to pay astronomical reparations, Germany's economy buckled under the strain, catapulting the nation into an era of hyperinflation and depression. This dire economic climate was further exacerbated by the loss of valuable territories, which, besides economic implications, stung with the sharp pain of national humiliation. These harsh conditions stirred a pot of bitterness, resentment, and a thirst for retribution within the German populace. The sense of being wronged, of their once mighty nation brought low, was a fertile ground for festering anger. It would become a grim foreshadowing of the animosity and revenge that would later germinate into the horrors of World War II. The treaty, while crafted in the hopes of ensuring peace, unknowingly brewed a toxic concoction of economic hardship, national shame, and vengeful sentiments within Germany. Instead of encouraging recovery and reconciliation, it pushed the nation from the ashes of defeat into the clutches of deep depression. The global consequences. Did the treaty foster peace? The global aftermath of the Treaty of Versailles is a complicated tale of intended peace and unintended consequences. Indeed, it effectively extinguished the flames of World War I, giving the world a much-needed reprieve from the incessant gunfire. Yet, as time unfolded, it became clear that the peace was only an intermission, a fragile calm before another storm. The seeds of discord sown by the treaty found fertile ground in the bruised ego and battered economy of Germany. The world stage was set for the rise of a brutal dictator, a devastating war, and a horror that would eclipse the tragedies of the First World War. It is therefore crucial to question the treaty's role in sustaining peace. It momentarily hushed the cacophony of war, but in doing so, it may have amplified the whispers of the next conflict. The Treaty of Versailles, intended as an instrument of peace, may have inadvertently become a harbinger of a global catastrophe, illustrating the paradox that peace enforced through punitive measures may often be a prelude to further conflict. The Treaty of Versailles as a diplomatic masterpiece. While the Treaty of Versailles may have had far-reaching consequences, it was undeniably a remarkable achievement in diplomacy. At its core, the treaty was an innovative attempt to broker peace through international negotiation and collaborative decision-making. The meeting of minds from 32 nations was a testament to the power of collective action, with each country contributing their perspective and expertise to the decision-making process. The crowning jewel of the Treaty of Versailles was the creation of the League of Nations, and introduced a mechanism for international cooperation and conflict resolution. The treaty also had a significant impact on the development of international law, laying the groundwork for future treaties and conventions. Was the Versailles Treaty a milestone or a mistake? The labeling of the Versailles Treaty as a milestone or a mistake is largely dependent on one's viewpoint. If we consider its diplomatic achievements, it could certainly be hailed as a significant milestone. It introduced a new era of international relations, fostering negotiation and dialogue over conflict. The treaty was, in essence, a diplomatic pioneer, forging a path for future international accords. However, if we measure its success in terms of establishing enduring peace, the treaty arguably falls short. In the wake of World War II, the treaty could be perceived as a grave misstep. Its punitive terms led to resentment and a thirst for revenge, which proved to be catalysts for another global conflict. Instead of healing wounds, it seems the treaty inadvertently rubbed salt into them. Revisiting the Versailles Treaty today, reflecting upon the Versailles Treaty in our contemporary world offers a rich well of lessons for modern diplomacy. The treaty underlines the necessity for peace agreements that are rooted in fairness, inclusivity, and thoughtful planning. It's an enduring reminder that enforced peace through punishment and humiliation can often sow seeds of future discord, rather than fostering lasting harmony. As we look back on the treaty, we're reminded of the delicate dance of international negotiations. This crucial turning point in history underscores the importance of grasping the intricacies and dynamics of the nations involved. It cautions us against sweeping, punitive measures that do more harm than good. The treaty stands as a testament to the complexity of peacemaking efforts, prompting us to remember that long-lasting peace requires much more than a signed document. It requires understanding, respect, and a keen eye on the horizon for potential ramifications. As such, the Versailles Treaty continues to be a compelling case study in the world of diplomacy, a reminder of past missteps and a guide for forging a more harmonious future. And there you have it, folks. If you stayed until the end, make sure to comment what you would like to see next on the channel. See y'all in the next video.